Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Blue Jay Acres. My name is Noelle and this is our journey to get out of debt, to become homesteaders, become self-sufficient. And right now we are just on a very tight budget trying to make all of that happen. So I'm sharing with you every day what we're eating and how we're doing it. I apologize, I'm starting to come down with a cold. This weather is just making me crazy. So today's video is just going to be super fast and it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I answer some of your questions while I'm cooking, and then that's it. And then we'll do it again tomorrow. So let's just go on and jump in with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so here is breakfast, what's left of it. There was all the way out to here, so more than half a tray. But I had to run this morning to take our cat to the vet to get her fixed, so we just have that many left. That's what I got to show you. But there was plenty for everybody. Okay, I need to make some bread up today, so I'm just going to start with my very basic bread recipe, which is 2 cups of warm water. I will have this finally put in, you guys. I'll have Charles do it tonight. So it is in the website with recipes. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of yeast and about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay, I'm just gonna give that a quick little stir. And I'm gonna let this get foamy. Now, you could replace honey with the sugar. You could replace milk with the water. You could do half milk, you could do half water. There's really just however you wanna do it. And then the yeast, like I said, you need, and then just let it sit till it gets bubbly. Okay, so now this has gotten foamy, if you guys can see that. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of oil. You could use butter here if you didn't want to use oil. And then my family really liked using the self-rising flour, so I'm going to do like a heaping teaspoon of baking powder. Look at it already acting with the stuff, the yeast. They felt like it made it really soft. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to add 4 to 5 cups of flour. Now you could add molasses if you wanted. You could add spices if you wanted. This is gonna make 2 loaves, but we're just doing plain old bread. You could add an egg if you wanted to make it softer. And now I'm just gonna let this go and knead for about 7 to 10 minutes. You could definitely do this by hand. You're just gonna be more hands-on, obviously, if you're doing it by hand, but it can definitely be done. Alright, so now I'm gonna let this just, see, it's still very sticky, but not too sticky. That's perfect. I'm gonna let this sit and come double in size. So it'd be about an hour, hour and a half, because it's pretty rainy and wet out today. It's probably more like an hour and a half. Okay, so the bread is definitely risen. It's ready. You can punch it down as many times as you want throughout the day. I just do a double rise, but you could do 3 or 4 rises if you wanted. They say it's just softer. The more you let it rise, the softer your bread will be. Some people don't even do the second rise at all. So, you know, it's very flexible like that. I'm going to divide this into half. And then it's very sticky. I'm just going to, best I can, just kind of form it into a loaf and set it here. And then I'm going to cover this and I'm going to let it rise again until doubled. Okay, so for lunch, for Wednesday, I'd gotten out ham for Charles. I just freeze it in little individual containers to take with him to work, and you know, some of my buns that I had made. Well, he did not end up going into the office that day, so I've got to use this ham up. The kids just brought in 14 eggs, so I'm gonna make some ham and eggs for lunch, and then we still have quite a bit of the au gratin potatoes left, or I'm sorry, the scallop potatoes, so I'm gonna heat that up, and that's gonna be our lunch today. Okay, so I'm just gonna start by turning this burner on. Now, one of the questions that I also got, I'm not cleaned up all the way, or I would put my face in, but I just showered. One of the other questions that I got from somebody, and I've gotten a couple times, is how is that enough food for 6 people? So, the answer is, and I know I've said it before, I shop for 6 people on $500 a month. The meals are really for 4 people. Because my son, who is 10, who is autistic, does not eat what everybody else eats. Theo is only 4, so he eats very little if he does eat what we eat. But otherwise he eats other stuff as well. So what you don't see is the constant people in the kitchen. All the time. There's always somebody in my kitchen. You don't see the kids making whatever they want to make. Oatmeal. Theo eats a ton of oatmeal. Luke does a lot of pancakes. I gotta make him pancakes at least. It's his newest food addiction. At least every other day I have to make pancakes. Theo loves miso soup with rice. He eats that at least 2 or 3 times a week for lunch. And he has a fried egg with it. Let me think of what else they like. Theo does a lot of just snacking on different stuff. They make hummus, and he eats a lot of hummus. Luke does get his little Caesar pizza still, but his real love right now is pancakes, and he eats a lot of pancakes and a lot of apples. That's kind of his thing right now. So I do put like a little bit of protein powder in his juice that he drinks, so he doesn't even know that I'm sneaking it in there, but I am. Now I'm going to use some of these eggs here. I just got to rinse them. My daughters are also, you know, Theo is Katie's child, and Kate is 23, and Ronnie is 15. They all know how to cook and make whatever they want. Nobody is ever hungry in this house. Ash and Brooke, when they're home, they cook whatever they want to cook. Again, nobody is ever hungry here. As far as seconds and thirds, that really just doesn't happen. Kate isn't a huge meat eater. So she eats some, but not a ton. And we almost always have leftovers. I have leftover chicken from last night. I'm just going to use that somehow with dinner tonight. Or somebody will grab it and munch on it if they want to. If Charles gets hungry in between meals, he doesn't normally. He always grabs nuts or something like that. We always have that stuff laying around. Or he digs into more of the desserts or cakes or breads or whatever I've got going on. I'm going to add a little bit of green onion to this as well. You could turn this into a burrito if you wanted. We don't have any tortillas right now, and I don't really feel like making anything like that right now. I have some of these partially open bags of cheese, or partially, well, they're open, they just got a little bit left in it. Let me get the words out right. I'm going to add those real quick. But all of my children know how to cook. They all learn. Luke is learning still. He can tell you exactly how to make pancakes from scratch. He makes them all the time, at least every Wednesday. He likes to make them. And all my girls know how to cook from scratch. Ronnie is still probably the one that's learning the most still. She's 15. Theo has started learning how to cook. Alright, this is ready. Now, I'm going to heat up the potatoes. And I'm going to add a little bit of green onion to that as well. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit about how do I feed everybody, what do they eat when they're hungry. Doesn't look like enough food. Like I said, seriously, my kitchen is non-stop. There is somebody in here cooking or heating something all the time. I'm going to add a little bit of green onion to this. Charles said that he felt like they needed a little more onion, even though he loved them. I'm going to add a little more milk to this. What else would be good is make a pie crust and just throw all this together in a quiche. Potatoes and the eggs, all of it together in a quiche or a pot pie. That would all be really good as well. Alright, so this is lunch then. Okay, so I have, the bread has risen and I have an egg here that I just kind of mixed up. And I'm just going to brush the top of this with it. As far as taste test, sorry, it didn't happen. He's in a meeting. But I will tell you, the kids and I thought it was fabulous and delicious. I have the oven set at 350 degrees. And this will just bake until it sounds hollow. It takes about 45 minutes. And this just helps brown and give a little bit of a crust to the top. If you don't have eggs and access to eggs, or they're too expensive and you don't want to use one for this, then just brush a little milk on, or you could do a little oil. That would be fine too. Alright, I'm going to pop these into the oven. Alright, so here is the bread. So you can see it didn't get super puffy. It's usually rises better than that. I am at the very end of this yeast. And I've been having issues the last few times, so I'm thinking my yeast might just be getting old, but I'm almost through this packet before I open my next one. So I get the big value packs. So it will still taste divine though, even though it's a little bit flatter than normal. Alright, so to go with the leftover chicken that we had last night before we make chicken and dumplings tonight, I'm going to bake the rest of this chicken that you guys saw me put in the fridge last night, and the rest of the carrots that I have, and some of the celery, and I'm just going to bake that, and when that's done we will start turning it all into chicken and dumplings. I just added a little bit of olive oil and poultry seasoning real quick so it does have some flavor. Alright, so this chicken has come out of the oven and I've let it cool just a little bit. I am just going to start, some of this is from last night, so I got carrots in here. I'm going to start shredding this chicken or pulling it off the bone and just put it in here. I'm just going to do a fast, easy chicken and dumplings. Nothing too crazy. And I'm going to do the dumplings that you drop in instead of the rolled dumplings, just because I'm doing it just an easy way tonight. Luke doesn't want his daddy to quit playing with him. Someone had asked about having the kids as taste testers. I do not put my kids on camera anymore. I used to, and there are old videos if you want to see what my crew looks like. But we had some comments. I'm just kind of breaking this carrot up. We had some comments that were bothersome that we had to report. Specifically, one was like about a little blonde and a little brunette talking about the boys. And then we had a bunch of people like subscribe to our channel after that and kind of talking code amongst each other. So we reported them and decided right then and there that our children would not be on camera again. So on rare occasion you see somebody sneaks on, like I think Theo snuck on the other night. But by the way, that's them playing. Okay, now I'm gonna start and just fill this with water. Okay, now I just am doing this as fast as I can because I don't want to late night again tonight. It's already 5:30 and I'm wore out. So I know you could cut all the celery and all the carrots and everything up. I'm just leaving it in big chunks. So I guess more kind of like a chicken stew. And I don't have any chicken broth right now, so I'm just using up this chicken bouillon powder. This is all it is. So I'm just gonna add some of that here. Get a good chicken flavor. I'm gonna let this come up to a boil. And then I have some of these Korean crushed red peppers, and I'm gonna add some of that to this as well. Just give it a little kick. It's not really spicy, it just has a really good flavor and it gives a little bit of a kick. But not overly spicy. We like to add that when we make ramen too, like a chicken ramen. It's very good. So this is just a wonderful comfort food. And yes, if it would bother your family to have a big carrot or a big piece of celery or a big chunk of chicken, then take the time to just cut it all up nice and pretty and you'll get the same result. I'm starting to get a bit of a cold as long with everybody else, and I'm just done. So it's a fast as easy as I can and fast as I can kind of dinner. And since everything is already cooked, and I was able to throw that chicken in while Luke's teacher was here, it just is going very fast. This would definitely be, if you're using leftovers, a easy 30-minute dinner. Like I talked about trying to do some 30-minute dinners. And I'm going to try and do that some next week. But this would easily fit into that category. And that is also another huge money-saving tip, is to use leftovers. We call them planned overs because I try to always have leftovers in the fridge to make something else or to have for lunches or for snacking on or whatever. I always try to have extra. Okay, so now this has come to a boil, so we're gonna make the dumplings real quick. Okay, again, I'm just doing really easy drop dumplings. So I'm gonna start with 3 cups of flour. We like quite a bit of dumplings. About 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, sorry, I thought it was recording, so I'm not sure where it even stopped. This is me putting together all the dry ingredients. So I did 3 cups of flour. I did 4.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And then I did a little bit of salt, pepper, and a little bit of poultry seasoning. Then I'm just gonna stir this together. melted butter, or you could use oil, like a vegetable oil. And I'm going to start with about a cup of milk, and I'm going to stir it, and then we'll see if I need to add a little more as needed. I will need to add a little bit more. You don't want to overmix your dough because you want it to be light and fluffy. I just want to get all that flour in there. So that right there is perfect. Now I'm just going to take spoonfuls and just drop them in here of the dumplings. And then I'm just going to cover this and let this cook for probably about 10 minutes. And then I'll check it and see if they are done. Okay, now we're going to check it out. These dumplings should be about done. Things are starting to stick on the bottom. So I definitely want to get this out. Oh, they definitely look like they're done. I'm just going to break one open. Oh yeah, they're perfect. Okay, I'll dish this out and let it cool for just a minute, and then we will let Charles be your taste tester. So you're stuck with my husband, who is a wonderful, perfect husband and the love of my life. So hopefully you are good with that. Dad jokes and all. All right, I'm gonna get him to come down and taste this here in just a minute. All right, he's gonna taste test for you.
This is the way I like it. I don't like the little thin, slimy dumplings. I like.
He doesn't like Cracker Barrel style. He likes the big fluffy.
I do. I do.
And I like both. Ronnie likes the thinner ones that you roll out. You'll have to let us know down below. Are you team roll out dumplings or fluff spoon dumplings?
Spoon dumplings all the way.
Way
Come on, people. You know you want to roll with me.
Okay, everybody, that is going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and hopefully everybody's staying safe in all of these storms. Bye, everybody. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.